It was just a couple days ago when I said, did you know that insert the name of your favorite franchise here has always been woke? Well, Mass Effect fans, it is time for you to gird your loins and clench your buttholes, because now it's coming for you. Mass Effect TV series in the works at Amazon Studios from Fast and Furious number 9 writer. Oh goody, the Fast and Furious series, which has gone on for 9 entries now. Perfect, absolutely ideal. And okay, right. To be fair here, we know next to nothing about this show at the moment. A Mass Effect TV series is officially in development at Amazon MGO Studios, Variety has learned exclusively. And that's about it, except for some of the names of the people involved, which we will be having a look at in a moment. But the current year is on the retreat now, as we have seen again and again, so perhaps this show will actually have a chance. Now, I've never personally played the story of Femshep, and I think we all know it's going to be Femshep. But even that's not necessarily a problem, so long as we get a capably written female character. But it's Amazon. Rings of power plus privilege, Amazon. I think the odds are significantly better that we are going to be getting another Galadriel rather than a Xena warrior princess out of this, and the entire Mass Effect storyline as well, I very much so doubt we're going to be seeing the radical interpretation. Very much so doubt it. And, well, I do hope as well that they will actually go with the Mass Effect story, because at least then you can't screw it up too much, right? If you simply just take the story beats from 1, 2, and 3, well, too much. Maybe adjust some of the story beats in 3, just occasionally here and there, but if you take the overall Mass Effect storyline and just make it live action as a form of reenactment and retelling, then you can't go that far wrong, can you? But this has always been the problem, hasn't it? With stuff like Halo, for example. They could simply just have told the story of Halo, but they chose not to. They chose to tell the story of Pablo Schreiber instead. With the Rings of Power plus Privilege, they could simply just have told the story of the fall of Numenor. They didn't. Instead, they moved in to undermine and claim everything they conceivably could. Now, this is, of course, a collaboration with BioWare as well, so the custodian of this franchise is still alive, but judging by how aforementioned custodian has been treating its other franchises recently, especially with Dragon Age Veilguard, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. If anything, I have this sneaking suspicion that Amazon and BioWare will be speaking pretty much the same language on certain, ethnic questions. Oh yeah. So, the people here. Daniel Cassie is set to write and executive produce, so this is Daniel Cassie here. He has worked on, well, not a massive amount of bangers, shall we say. 5.2, 5.8, 7.3, that's about as good as it gets here. A tiny bit worrying, but at the very least he's been working for a while, so that's something. It's not like, again, Amazon's Rings of Power, where they hired a couple of no-name nobodies to drag their ball sacks over the carcass of J.R.R. Tolkien, so that's something. Then we have Arya Arad as well, and Michael Gambles as executive producing. So Arya Arad, boy, Borderlands. Now, to be fair, there's some decent one here as well. Iron Man, there you go. Blade, there's a Blade series? Now I'm a little bit scared. But, Iron Man, but Borderlands. Oh, God. I hope he was just literally like the towel boy or something on Borderlands, that he didn't actually do anything, and now he wears this as a badge of shame for the rest of his life. In reality, he was the only one who spoke sense to this abomination, but again, I don't know if I believe it. And finally, What was it here? Where was it? Karim Zadik will executive produce on a CDT production manager. So this is here. Right, National Treasure, Daredevil. There you go. There's something. Daredevil was a damn good series. Not a whole lot of massive good things recently, but Legion, Jessica Jones, The Punisher, Daredevil, Luke Cage. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it was okay. Alright, now it's looking up. Okay, so you at the very least got one person here with some talent and a bit of a proven track record, and a proven track record on some superhero stuff. And in reality, the story of Shepard really should be a little bit of superhero. I would say that ideally speaking, the story of FemShep, as it will be, should be about 25% superhero, 25% SEAL Team 6, and then 50% Star Wars on top of that again. And you've probably got a fairly good mix for a Mass Effect show right there. Yeah, sprinkling a little bit of drama here and there, a bit of companion relationships, maybe for feeling spicy, a touch of romance, but honestly I think it'll just piss off the shippers more so than anything if you do that. And there's another point as well. Will we even have a proper Mass Effect show? Will this be the story of Shepard? Or will this be the story of somebody else? Now, you would think that it would be absolutely crazy to feature anybody else's story than Commander Shepard, right? But bear you in mind, there is quite a minefield to navigate there, as everybody's got their own point of view on Shepard. Everybody's got their own ideas of how he behaves, on the choices he makes. And everybody also largely has their own opinion on how the people around him act as well, and how they problem solve, and so on. So, on the one hand, whilst it seems obvious that you would do Commander Shepard, I'm almost tempted to say that it might be safer to go in some sort of a different direction here. Maybe a story focused on Miranda, maybe? Leading up to the Invisible Man? Maybe a focus on the Invisible Man? Maybe more of a side story thing where you follow the various companions in more of like a mini-series kind of style stuff? I don't know. I don't know, that's a very good idea, honestly, thinking about it. Shepard is obviously going to be the most likely option, but again, being a character without a firm foundation, I fear that the people who will determine his moral foundation and his behavioral pattern will be current year BioWare and Amazon. Ooh, boy. Yeah, worried about that. very worried about that. But I don't really see that many other ways they could take it either, besides almost some sort of mini-series, or perhaps even something only pseudo-related, like a story in the First War, I guess, when the humans and the weird dudes with the tentacle mouths ran into each other, whose names I've now completely spaced. Maybe a show on Citadel politics? We're reaching here, honestly. The ideal would simply just be a retelling of the Mass Effect storyline, and then working out whatever issues with Shepard's personality that might come along, and making it into a relatively traditional good guy versus bad guy story would probably work out fairly well. And honestly, here's the thing too. At this point in time, with everyone undoubtedly clenching their buttholes full force, expecting yet another Rings of Power plus privilege, if Amazon simply just delivers a competent action show with the rough outlines of the Mass Effect story, then delivers it to viewers with a cool special effects budget and some decent actors, and honestly, I think people would be happy with it. I think this would actually be a surprisingly low bar to meet. Cast a couple of attractive what even is a women? Females, that's a better word, to play as the companion characters, add in a couple of hot males for the other side of the audience, and have FemShep be played by Lucy Lawless. Yeah, definitely. Not serious, but do. And again, just throw in some cool action sequences here and there, some space combat, some shooting, make it again almost like SEAL Team 6, but in space. I think people would lap it up for the simple reason, at the very least, it wouldn't be what they feared. This was what got Star Wars Jedi Survivor, was it Survivor? The first one, to get so many rave reviews as it did, because whilst it wasn't a particularly excellent game, it was at least a Star Wars action game, when everyone had feared that it would not be. Considering how low to the ground the bar is, Amazon is probably going to be better off just aiming for that rather than trying to get creative again, like they did with Veilguard. Whether or not there is anybody actually at Amazon capable of giving that wisdom to the writers, however, remains to be seen, as again, the track record of the people they've got on this is not great, but at least there is a glimmer of hope here and there. So, here we go, I guess. Mass Effect television show. What do you guys think? Do you have hopes for it? Are you suspicious? And maybe this could be, if Amazon is smart here, they could steal a march on everybody else by making it one of the first proper major non-woke shows. That would be amazing and interesting. I don't know if they'd managed to get BioWare on board with that, but it might be worth a shot, at least. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for listening. I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.